Our military has little yellow plastic cards, look like a little credit card. And for a number of years, a long time now,
I don't think they have them no more.
yes they do.
They don't use them no
Yeah, they do.
more. Well, not here they don't.
If they get too stressed out during training or like that, you know, when they're in their training phase of life, their basic, their AIT and whatever like that, if their drill sergeant gets in their face and they've just had it, they're going to commit suicide or something, they hold that little stress card up and the sergeant has to turn around and walk away from them. And the only thing is, they gave them these cards and told them, this is what you do. But they started doing it out here in town, in the real people world. They did it with the waitress down here at a restaurant.
Just screwing around or being serious?
No, they were serious.
No,
This
they're
kid
serious.
orders eggs, and she brings the eggs out, and they're not exactly the way he wanted them. She sends them back. She says, oh, okay. So she has the cook redo a set of eggs for him and puts them down. Oh, no. She sends them back. Third time she comes out, she takes that plate and she says, now eat those damn eggs. And the kid gets his stress card and passes out.
Yeah. Goddamn broad scared him right out of the world.
Wow.
That's our military. Makes you feel safe at night when you're sleeping.
One of them pulled a stress card on him and oh my gosh.
I didn't know what the son of a bitch was. A little punk motherfucker. He was confusing me. It looked to me like it was speed knot time, you know. You don't know what the fucking guy's doing. You better do something. He might have been serious about something. I don't know.
He was trying to throw him out because that's the one that was messing with the college girls in here.
Yeah.
They were waiting for tattoos all day and he was in here and Renegade had told him to leave several times. I mean, he was so ballsy, he'd just go up and sit on their laps and stuff. This horrible, ugly little punk. And, oh, you have such beautiful eyes and all this bullshit, you know. And the girls didn't want that. My goodness, these girls can have anybody on campus. They didn't want this little military nerd around them. And they kept asking him politely to leave. And then finally they told Renegade, and Renegade's telling him, leave the girls alone.
It went too far because I wasn't hearing nothing from the girls, you know. So I figured, well, they're over here playing grab ass, who gives a damn, you know? And the girls were just trying to hope it went away until it got out of hand. And then it was time the military had to go away.
Renegade's starting to throw him out, and the guy just pulls out the stress card like this, and he's up against the wall, and then he knocks over an ashtray. We had kitty litter. There was smoking in here back then. And we had kitty litter in these ashtrays, and he knocks that all over. Oh, what a mess.
But I have very little of that shit here.
Have you ever had any issues with anyone messing with her at all? Does that...
No, she can pretty much take care of herself.
She's the mean one of the place, huh?
I always tell everybody I'm the bitch on the hill.
Yeah, she can pretty much take care of herself. If she can't, it's made real quick.
He takes care of stuff when he feels like he knows when it needs to be done.
But then I have other people that there ain't nobody can get along with, that I have no trouble with.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you figured that one either.
We had talked on the phone, and one of the things we had kind of talked about, kind of then and now sort of thing, and one of the things that you had mentioned to me is, you know, back then when you wrote a letter, you had a letter and it stayed. You know, nowadays an email and you delete and it's gone, and you know, who saves an email?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you look at now? Well, I'm sure there's a lot of things, but is there anything that you look at now and you're just like, man, this time period or this generation of tattooers, or maybe even just people, I mean, is there any, you know, you guys are just fucking this up. I mean, you have such a wide view of tattooing, from such a perspective that I think, not too many people do in terms of, traveling and also just the time that you put in, say it's not just the years, it's the miles that count, and I mean, you clearly have this wide view of tattooing. I mean, what do you think that the younger generation of tattooing is fucking up or just missing the point or
Well, yeah. I'll tell you, if tattooing now, I was just talking to another artist about this not too long ago. If tattooing now is what it was when I got into it, or this other guy I was talking to has been not in it not quite as long as I have. Most of these fuckers that are tattooing out here now never make it.
They'd be dead.
I mean,
Tattooing was serious many, many years ago when these guys were in it.
this
It
is,
wasn't this little, grandma gives me a credit card and I get my quick.
it was different. This
Yeah.
completely different. I give you an example. A guy died, I guess he's been dead 3 years now. Called him Thumbs. Okay, he was a scratcher up in Chicago. He used to work in a flop down on Archer Avenue every now and then. And he was okay, but he's kind of a worthless bastard. But and so he'd hustle up himself a drunk sailor every now and then. So he hustled up a couple this one night, and they go down to this. He didn't have an apartment, then he had a room. And so they go down and get a tattoo, bargain price. They could have went to the arcade, or they could have went to the other one, or they could have went over to, what you call it?
Sparrow.
Huh?
Sparrow.
Sparrow across the street. No, they go down there. So, you got the guy sitting in bed, doing a butcher job on him, so the second guy decided he wasn't going to get a tattoo. So the one guy, he got his. And there used to be a bar sitting back in there. Called Alley Ann, Alley Hole, something like that. It wasn't a place usually that Navy went in. It had its own kind of a crew, And so anyway, they come out of there and went down there. And they're sitting in there drinking a beer. And the one guy looked at the other one and he said, "How were you sitting on that bed?" I said, "What do you mean, how was I sitting on that bed?" He says, "How was you sitting there?" And so he showed him. And he said, "He was sitting over here." He said, "Yeah." He said, "You know what?" He said, "That guy's left-handed." Now, they'd already caught the bastard in the alley and cut his thumb off. And then they decided he's left-handed, cut off the wrong thumb. So they went back and cut the other thumb off. Now the bastard would have bled to death, but this was, I don't know, I stayed in Chicago that year later than usual, so it was either right at New Year's, just before or just after New Year's it's happened. So it was colder than a bitch. So they, where they cut his thumbs off, froze over. And then down from there, there's a goddamn building that looks like a piece of a prison. But it's where they sort mail. And I don't know if it's there now or not. I don't even know what's on that street no more. But it was then. And some guy walking to work found him, called. They saved him. So that was Thumbs. Without none. And that kind of shit wasn't too unusual back then. But I gotta give the guy credit. He stayed around there, always hating Chicago. And I asked him one night, I said, "Well, why the fuck don't you leave here?" He said, "I can't." I says, "Why the hell can't you?" He says, "I hitchhike." So he had a sense of humor. He just died about 3 years ago. So he'd been around Chicago for 50 years, I guess. But
Wasn't he the one that ended up sweeping floors in a grocery or something?
no, he managed to do some. You know, he'd stock a few coolers. And, yeah, at one time he did, and he swept bar floors. And you know how a bum manages. They just do whatever comes by. But he did quit tattooing. That stuff back then wasn't that unusual.
See, now that
A
anybody
lot of them
anywhere
would just
can buy
never
equipment.
make it now. I mean, they'd turn out some of this shit, and the guy'd come back and rip their fucking head right off.
There's like 14-year-old kids that'll get grandma's credit card and just order a bunch of equipment through the mail. And then they're opening a shop next week. And the week following that, they're a tattoo artist, so they're teaching their best buddy to tattoo.
But you know, down through the years, there's always been something breathing on tattoo, and that reminds me, I want to ask you about something too. Tattooing's always been, you know, on the bottom, skid row type thing. And it's always had its threats of one thing or another. That's why so many of us work low profile. And work tight with Skid Row, work tight with the horse, and just that's the way it slid along. If it got too hot, you moved. If not, you stayed till you was ready to leave. But of all the things that's came up that worried people about closing tattoo, I never thought it would be a generation of punks. And it has fucked tattooing right now. It really has. You see it at the conventions, you see it everywhere. Are you at all connected with Facebook?
I do have Facebook.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, you see.
Well, I
see
talked
it.
to you on Facebook. That's how I first started talking to you.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, you see what comes in through there, you know. I mean, you know, you see a lot of them that don't have no idea what's going on, but there's a lot of them that do and have paid attention to what has gone on and things that have happened to them and so on. I can't keep up with Facebook. There's in the hospital and everything. I haven't had. We kicked the computer on. Today's the first time since when?
No, we turned the computer on when we got
I
here.
try to
and
pick
it was-
up on any information I
I
had
had to
on it.
run 10 into it. So I ran 10, you know, their Windows 10, the 1 to 10, you have to be in by a certain time. So I went ahead and ran that through. Then he went on it yesterday. I think, was it yesterday?
Today.
No, it was yesterday. It was the night before. I was up all night.
Was it?
No, I wasn't up all night.
I don't know when it was. It
Took
didn't
all
know I
night
haven't
to
been
6
able
in the
to
morning.
keep up with it. But if you kind of follow it along, you see the kind of pattern that tattooing has been, you know. You gotta kind of pick out the bits and pieces. Something you can spend a lot of time on, too much really. I thought television was a waste of time. Look at the friggin' computer. I mean, Jesus Christ. But the thing is,
A lot of
all the
information
information
too,
that goes through there, flip the handle and flush it down the pot, because it ain't going nowhere. That delete button does it. Think what that's going to do to the future of tattoo. All the information and what's going on now is usually gone by morning, or it might sit there a couple of days.
Well, writing letters is over because they're not even teaching the kids to write anymore.
And it just.
No writing.
But you know, it's not just tattooing. Look at the bike world. Same goddamn thing. And anything. The racing world, for instance. I mean, it is. It's fucked up worse than Hogan's Gold. Jesus Christ, you ain't got a driver out there no more. It's plugged in his friggin' head, you know. Jesus Christ. That's... Technology has done, as far as I'm concerned, technology's actually ended racing. It's just, the fuck, you ain't got a race going when the guy's out there in the car and the guy's sitting up in the goddamn stands talking in his ear, telling him what to do. I quit. My last race was,
Moons ago.
Huh?
Many moons ago.
yeah, it was, I don't remember what year it was. Do you remember what year it was? I know you weren't around
I
then.
didn't know you yet then.
Right, lucky you. Oh, what year it was? It was
He's trying to fool you. It was last week.
50, no, 60, 70, I don't remember what
We
year
need
it
to
was.
turn that off for a few minutes while we do our medicine thing.
Okay.
We don't.
Well, we can
always-
split